Hi there everyone, it's Julie with Photofabpaperflowers, and today is Tuesday, May 27th, 2025. We will get started shortly, so I'll just give everybody a few minutes to join. Hey there, welcome in everyone. Welcome in. Hi there. How are we doing, everyone? Just gonna pull up your comments. Hey, Vanessa, how are you, my friend? You hanging in there? Hey, Jeanette, welcome. Ooh, we got a beautiful flower we're making tonight. Not that we don't make it every time. Looks like I left in a hurry yesterday. Everything's just thrown everywhere. Welcome in, everyone. How are you? It's day one after Memorial Day, long holiday weekend. Getting back into the swing of things. Hi, Bally. It was tough getting up today for work. I don't know about you. Alrighty. How are you all? Did you have a good weekend? Oh, excuse me. I just ate. Got a walk in after work quick, checked on my friend's house, ate dinner, and got back here in time. And the glue gun's heating up. I am doing well, thank you, Vanessa. Girl, you work all the time. So do I, though. All right, so let's go over what we're using. So we're going back to our Flower Camp mini flower bundle. So we're using Flower Camp 2024 mini flower bundle. And part of that is 3 mini flowers, templates 7, 8, and 9. So they are only part of the bundle. They are not sold separately. So this is Flower Camp 2024 mini flower bundle. And again, we're using template 7 from that bundle. So we're going to make 2 flowers tonight. They're basically made almost the same, but one's just going to be a smaller little bud that we're going to attach to our stem. Good evening, Christy. Hey, Erica. So we're going to be using some of the Distress Oxides, Erica. Erica got a big shipment of Distress Oxides in the mail. I love it. Sorry, I was an enabler to you. So again, we're going to use Flower Camp 2024. So right now I have clean hands. By the end of it, I will have Cheeto fingers, as Jeanette likes to call them. So we're going to use petal 1 Again, template 7 from Flower Camp 2024 mini flower bundle. And she is the 8 petal. So we're going to cut 3 of them at 3.5 inches wide. You're going to cut one at 3.25, one at 3 inches, and one at 2. Oh, I don't know if that one's right. Hold on, let me look. Oh, I can't look on. I'm going to double check that. That's probably 2.75. So let me just double check. I was trying to quickly do it before I left work. Let me double check that last measurement. So I will type it up for you, but I'll post a picture of this one in the comments or let you know in the, I'm pretty sure it's 2.75 because I normally don't jump that much between them. All right, center 3. You're going to cut 3 of these. Oh, they're all stuck together. Well, let me just measure it quick and then we'll know, right? Yeah, it's 2.75. That's why there's a space. All right, it's 2.75 for that last petal. All right, center 3, cut 3 of them. Again, that's that one. And then center number 1, depending on which way you have it, the width is 1 inch and the height is 10, or you can do it reverse, however it is on your project, okay? Then your sepal, we're going to cut 2 of them at 3.2, oh my God, I'm throwing everything, at 3.25 inches. And then our leaf number 2, which are individual leaves, we're going to use 6 of them, so we're going to have 3 leaves. 2 for our main flower and 1 for our little flower. At 1.11 wide at 2.5 inches tall. Our second flower is going to be our smaller, simplified version. Again, we're going to use petal number 1, and you're going to cut 2 of them at 2.5. You're still going to use your centers, 3 of them at 2.5. And then center number 1, I use the same size center. And I'll double check all of this for you. 1 at 1 inches wide by 10 inches high. And then our sepal is 2 inches wide by 2.01. Erica, tonight we're using crushed olive, a little bit of seedless preserves, a little bit of walnut stain, some wild honey, and crackling campfire. It all depends on your color of your flower and whether you want to ink or not ink. My crushed olive, seedless preserves, and walnut stain are for my leaves. Everything else is for my flower. But if you're not using the colors that I'm using, then definitely you can switch up what color inks you're going to use. For my paper, I'm using, this is one of my favorites, the Boho Rainbow Cardstock from Printworks. I do have it in my Amazon storefront, and they did gift me this paper. But we are using the Coral, the Goldenrod, the Cream, and Mint. I love the boho colors. It's very much me. How can you not have any of those, Erica? So for my leaves, to assemble them, I'm going to use the Barely Arts craft glue, and I'm just down to what's left in my refill bottle. So I'm just going to use a foam brush, but you can use the regular applicators for that. Completely up to you. We're going to use our bone folder, piercing scoring tool, needle nose pliers, wire cutters to cut our wire, or you can use your needle nose pliers. Do I need scissors? We don't need any scissors. I think I was trimming something. Our metal ball stylus, slotted quilling tool, embossing stylus, and our color-coded dowel rods, which come with, I hand color them, and it comes with a nice little chart so you know what color to look at and you don't have to worry about the sizes as much. They come in 6-inch and 12-inch. I'm using the 6-inch tonight. And we're going to be using our trusty Surebonder mini glue gun, our 8-inch Gorilla Glue sticks, and our flower shaping mat. And I have a piece of extra paper just so it doesn't get all over my mat. And we have our flower shaping mat, which is a 1/4-inch soft foam mat. So if you do need any paper flower tools, I do offer them in my Etsy shop. And thank you to the 2 individuals who purchased tool kits. They will be shipped out tomorrow. So thank you, everyone. And thank you all for purchasing templates. I truly do appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. And the sale is ending today in my Etsy shop, where all the mini flower templates were 50% off. And it'll go back to just the templates that we're using. All right. So we're going to go ahead and get started. For our center number 1, while it was on the mat, it looks like candy corn, doesn't it? I did ink it. So again, depending, this is the cream color. You don't have to ink it. How you ink it is completely up to you. I was just making some brighter colors again to mix in my arrangements that I have from my tulips and everything else. But I also love these colors. So I'm brushing on some wild honey. And I don't go all the way down. I do cut my cardstock, the Printworks cardstock, on light cardstock setting. Now my mat was kind of dirty, so I did have a few little hiccups, but I'm just like that. When you ink, just be careful. Don't worry, I cut my other one in half, so. All right, then I came back. So again, if you don't want to ink, you don't have to. This is just some way you can add some coloring to your centers. I'm using Crackling Campfire. This is my favorite to use for marigolds. And all I did, and you can see I randomly brushed from the base. I just chose any one, it doesn't matter. And I did a heavy hand on the orange. Just randomly, just brush it on. And then I did go right across the top a little bit. And that's all I did. So it looks crazy, but I promise you it looks pretty once it's all together. Thank you, Erica. We're going to use our bone folder. You're going to curl your center. It doesn't matter which side because they both have ink on them. This is the start of the Cheeto fingers. So it looks like I've been eating Cheetos or cheese curls. I wish. They're so good, aren't they? Curl it with your bone folder. So now you have the curl facing towards you. You're going to thread one end into your slotted quilling tool. It's the hardest part. Okay. Roll it a few times towards yourself. We're going to add some glue, hot glue. And keeping that bottom edge aligned, you're just going to keep rolling, and I'm going to periodically add some glue. I had to go check on our peonies. They're looking, some of them don't look so great at the museum where I walk. Other ones were still okay. And some were still blooming, so thank goodness. I always get sad when they're no longer blooming. Now I'm going to add a little bit of walnut stain to my center. And I just brush it on. I love playing with the different colors, and I like to, when I do take my walks outside, I do look at the flowers a lot and post my pictures. So now you have a multicolored center. A little bit of dirt in there. Jeanette, don't you love it? Cheeto fingers. I love that you call them that. All right, we're going to remove it from the slotted quilling tool. And that's our center for our larger one. Okay. Now for the three center threes, you can see I did ink them while they were on my Cricut mat, and it's so much easier before you pull away the rest of the paper. And I'm doing this on both sides. So because I'm using the coral again from Printworks. So to add a little bit of shading, I'm using the crackling campfire. So because these are the colors I chose, that's how I decided on my ink. And all I did in the center is circular motion, and then I brushed it out with a little bit lighter hand. And then I came back with a little bit on the tips. So there's different color, multicolor shading throughout the whole center. So you can see it varies on each one. Gives it a little extra pizzazz. Circular motion. Blend out a little bit. And then come back with a little bit at the tips. Each one's different. You don't want them all exactly the same. And the third one. Circular motion in the center and blend out. All right, that's how we do our centers. And now for our petals. Again, while they were all on the mat, I did ink them. So we're going to do the opposite side. So again, I'm going to use crackling campfire because I want it to show. So we're going to do circular motion, and then I blend out. I like seeing the darker color personally when I look through the side of my flowers, to have that shading. And keep using your finger dabbers over and over until they're totally chewed up. And then once I do that, I'm going to come around really quickly, highlight the edges a little. So I start from the base, go up to the top and across, all right? Go up the right side and across the top. Now, still holding it the same way, I start from the center and come down the right side. And I do this to both sides of all of petal 1. Again, we're using Flower Camp 2024 mini flower bundle. And this is template 7 from that bundle. Petal 1. Okay, so we're just going to come back through and do our petals. So we have 3 at 3.5 inches. Circular motion. Blend out. Not a lot of inking. Well, I mean, of course, always inking takes the longest, but it's so worth it. Okay, circular motion and blend out. So thank you for joining, whether live or in replay here on Facebook or on YouTube, where you can watch the replay. It's here for 30 days on Facebook. And then poof, it goes away. And all of my live videos will be going away June 21st. I still have some to download. All right, so from the center out and across the top. I know they're screaming summer, Kim. That's why I was like, I have to do some bright colors. Pull it all together in an arrangement or a wreath or something. I was going to use the blues because I have a beach order for a friend of mine she wants. So I just have a hard time. I love oranges and yellows and pinks. From the center out. Okay, down the side and across the top. Down the side, across the top. And then we come opposite down the right side from the center to the top. Makes it easier than doing each petal. You can at least get one whole side done real fast. And voila. Okay, we have them stacked over here. We start from largest to smallest. So again, I had inked one side while it was on my mat before I took away the negative space. Or positive. Negative. Circular motion, blend out. Oh, it's been a day. My mind is fried. I wrote 4 communications today. Okay, and then we just come down and we highlight our beautiful shape of our petal. So go down the right side, across the top, starting from the base, across the top. And we just keep rotating it. And now we come down the opposite side real quick. You don't have to add any more ink. You don't want it super, well, unless you want it super duper bright. Totally up to you, depends on your projects that you're working on. Or like me, I just keep them all, and then when I need to put something together for somebody, I go to my stash. So we're just using petal 1 from Template 7 Mini Flower from Flower Camp 2024. Circular motion and blend out. Then we come down the side, across the top. Okay. And our last petal 1, circular motion in the center and blend out. So I hope you all had a great weekend. It feels like Monday, but it's Tuesday. Surprise! Good news, it's a shorter week. And now we're going to ink around the edges again. So starting at the base, go up the right side and across the top. Same time for a new nail color. And then we come down the opposite side. I don't remember where I started. All right, now we just have our sepals and our leaves. So for our sepals, I'm going to add some crushed olive. Did I do it? I don't remember if I did it before or after. It really doesn't matter. We're going to add some crushed olive for some shading to our mint cardstock. So if you saw my reel today, I showed you how I made some large leaves, and this is the process I've been doing with the mint color. The crushed olive looks super pretty with it. I like the color combination. You so play around, you know, see what colors you like depending on the color cardstock you have in stock. So while it was on the mat, I did color in the opposite side. So we're going to bring in our flower shaping mat. Hey Maria, how are you? The daisy, which daisy? They are on YouTube, Bally. Some of them, like the original ones. When I release the templates, they're all on YouTube. They will get there. We're going to add some veining, vertical veining with our embossing stylus. I'm using the larger end, so just draw a vertical line to give it some texture. Since these are skinny, I'm just doing vertical lines. So I'm just drawing them down. Okay. I like to give texture to my leaves for a more realistic look. Oh, awesome, Maria. I'm glad you're getting outside. I got out as well. Got a 2¼ mile in. I didn't get my 3. There was a lot of gnats because they mowed on the museum grounds where I walk. So though it looked like it was going to rain, I had to keep my sunglasses on because they like to go in my eyes. So annoying. And then I eat them half the time. Walnut stain. Does anybody else have those issues like me? I'm going to brush that on. Okay. And I'm going to do that on both sides. So it's just going to highlight our veining. A little bit of dirt looking, just vintage looking that we did to our center. I like to add it to my leaves, the brown. And then, you know, lastly, I like to add a little bit of purple. Ever since I made succulents, I can't stop with the seedless preserves. So you're just brushing it on a little. You can highlight the tips. Again, I use the light cardstock setting for Printworks, and I use the Cricut Premium Fine Cut blade. I use that blade for all of my cuts. And then we're going to add a little bit of seedless preserves just because I like it. So depending on your project, you may switch it up. Just want to give a shout out to our friend Forever Petals by V. We are thinking about you both, and Isaac. And we are here whenever you want to come back. Okay, add a little bit of purple. I just randomly add it. You can get some on the sides. And I do that on both sides. Okay. And then lastly, we have for our 6 leaves. These are going to, because we are stemming our flower, so we need to attach our leaves. So we're using 2 of them. We're going to glue them together. So we're going to cut a little pieces of 18 gauge floral stem wire. They don't have to be super long. So I'm just using some pieces I keep off to the side here in a little jar. You need it to be about 3/4 of the way up is what I like it, and maybe an inch below. So approximately 3 inches. Now again, because I don't have any more of my applicators, I have to order more glue. We're just going to, I don't even want to use a plate. So we're going to just put our brush in there. Normally if I'm doing a lot, I'll dump it on a plate. So I just add some craft glue. Place my wire down about 3/4 of the way up. And add a little craft glue on top of my wire. We're going to place another leaf directly over top. And I forgot we need a Cricut Brayer Roller. They do have them at Hobby Lobby in a fun pink color. I think it's Hobby Lobby's brand. Okay, and we're just going to repeat that process. Oh my goodness. It's today at midnight. Some of them will still be on sale. It's just the Memorial Day sale ends. Thank you for grabbing that. Question Kim. We're going to place 3/4 of the way up the leaf. And then we're going to add some glue on top of my floral stem wire. And then place the leaf directly over top. Press them together. And then you can use your Brayer Roller. If you don't have a Brayer Roller, I can't find my little tube. Keep your little tubes and you can just roll over top of it. Okay? And we're going to ink it, so if it gets dirty, it's all okay. Take your last leaf. I'll use whatever glue I have left on my brush. Take your third little piece, about 3 inches. Place it about 3/4 of the way up the leaf. You're going to add a little bit more glue on top of your wire. Place your leaf directly on top. Press them together. And use your roller. Again, my craft glue I buy it directly from their website, is Barely Art. I always add an S. Now we're going to, first we're going to add a little bit of crushed olive to our leaves. Or do I want to ink? I'm going to add some embossing lines first. So we're going to place them down on our mat with the larger end of our embossing stylus. I like to trace my wire, okay? And then I do I do lines towards the center, so it creates that V shape of veining. So trace your wire, and then come in at an angle, go down the one side, and then I come down the opposite side, so it creates that V shape of veining. So we'll highlight it with our inks. Trace your wire, and then you add your V shape, so it comes down towards that center. Then we come through and we're going to add some crushed olive, again, to give it those different tones. We're just going to brush it all over on both sides and around the edges. I'm going to highlight the fun shape of the petal. Flip it over, brush it on. It's a process, right? Go around the edge, flip it over, add some color. Again, it's not fully covered. We want to see the different tones. So again, depends on what color leaves you have in your stash or paper. Will depend on what color inks. The other ink or green that I like to use on my leaves is forest moss. Okay, then we come back through with our walnut stain. Again, we want to keep it just like our sepal. And then I just brush that on right over top. I don't even think about it. You can see I just brush it on. Again, it's highlighting. Now you can really see our veining of our leaf. And we're going to leave that out because we need that yet. And we're going to add a little seedless preserves. Just highlight it wherever you want to see it. I usually do it more at the bottom. And I'll highlight a little bit at the tips. Both sides. Don't forget both sides because this is going to be stemmed. Gorgeous. Lastly, we're going to take some floral tape. I forgot to tell you, you needed that. Just a little piece because you pull to activate the glue. Now we're going to squeeze at the base. And we're going to start wrapping right at the base. Pull it a few times tight. Okay. And then pull it at an angle. And I'll just wrap the full piece of tape. So that's why you don't need a large piece. And then you're going to go over them because this is a little bright for my paper. So I try and coordinate as close to possible to my paper color with my tape. So I do get multicolored packs. And then I just add my walnut stain over top to dull it down. So we're just going to repeat that. You don't need a large piece. Pull to activate. I squeeze my paper around at the base, my floral stem. Okay, you're going to wrap it right around in the same spot a few times, and then you start coming down at an angle. And then I just wrap it. And again, then you're going to color your tape. I like to have that look. Squeeze at the base. Did I not write did it change my date again? Ugh. I'm telling you, I think something's wrong with my laptop. It was doing that all day today, like not typing in letters or changing my stuff. It wouldn't save my one whole document I updated, even though I hit the save button multiple times. And it's never a user error. I will update that. I fixed it like 3 times before I click live. No worries, Christy. 18 gauge floral stem wire. Yeah, you definitely could use your Metal Stylus if you don't have your brayer handy. No worries. All right. I think that part's done. Now we can shape our leaves. So you can use your 1/8 inch dowel rod. You can roll some of them up. You can roll one side down. You can squeeze them a little. You just don't want them flat. And then we can always style them once they are on our stem as well. For our sepals, we can use our purple 1/8 inch dowel rod, purple. You can stack them both. And I go at a little bit of an angle, and we're just going to roll our petal around there. So it's going to have a little bit of a shape. It's not a lot. It depends, Christy. So Christy said that she used a smaller wire, wire gauge, to be more flexible. Yeah, I do sometimes. But if I want them to stay more in place, I usually use 18 gauge then. But I have used 22, I think it is. Or 20 gauge. Like I have super thin as well. It all depends on the type of flower. And then for your sepals, we're going to assemble them with the petals rolled under. So with them, the curl facing under, take your piercing scoring tool from Dollar Tree. It's the larger one. And just poke a hole in the center. You want to poke it the way you're threading it onto the floral stem. So that way, when we poke through, you can see it. The paper goes through, like it pushed out the paper. So I don't know how to describe that part. So we're just getting everything all ready for your 3 sepals. Super duper easy. Oh my goodness. We're just going to take our metal ball stylus. You can use the smallest one, and you're just going to pull down from the top to curl them. Just roll it right down, starting from the tip to the base. And do that to all 3 of them. Just pull it right down. Okay, down, down, roll it right down. Okay. And then we're going to attach our center. So add some glue to the bottom, and you can go a little bit around the base, so the flat area there. Just be careful because these are really open. So you're just going to glue it right in the center. So again, be careful with the hot glue and just fold it up and around. And I just press at the bottom to make sure it's secure. And then we're going to add a dab of glue right in the center. I'm going to look from the back and place my petal right in between the previous layer. Okay, so this petal went in between these two. And fold it up and around. And you can see I have different tones because of our shading. Add a dab of glue, and again we're going to do that same technique, placing the petals in between the previous layers. Give it a moment to dry. And then again, I just go through and I add I don't even, go on the ink pad, I just add a little bit of brown. Look how beautiful she is. This is what inspired me then to do the smaller flower. All right, we're gonna flip our petals over. And for layers 1 and 2, they're the same size at 3.5 inches. We're going to start with our green, olive green, 1/4 inch dowel rod. So place it down in the middle of the petal, pinch it up with your thumb and roll. Pinch up and roll. Okay, place it down, hold it with your thumb and index finger, let go. Now you come back in with your, I have glue on my hand. Pinch it up and roll with your right. I'm right-handed, my dominant hand. Pinch up and roll. So once you had pinched the petal up, I let go with my left hand and roll it between your fingers, and I squeeze very hard. These don't have a lot of curl, just because this is layer 1 and 2. Okay. Layer 3 is the same size at 3.5 inches, but however, we're going to switch to the blue, Coastal Blue 3/16. Place it down in your middle of your petal, pinch it up with your thumb, and roll. Skip a petal, pinch up and roll. Skip, pinch up and roll, skip, pinch up and roll. Now flip it all the way around, so now those petals are under, and now you can go back through and roll the other petals up. So when I say roll 1 petal up, 1 petal down, that's what I mean. Okay, doesn't matter which side. We're going to keep them stacked, largest to smallest. Our next petal is 3.25 inches, and we're going to use our blue again, Coastal Blue 3/16, and we're just going to roll all the petals up. Place the dowel rod down in the middle of that petal, pinch it up with your thumb, let go, and roll it between your fingers. Okay, pinch it up, let go, and roll. Squeeze it tight when I do that. Okay. Layer 5 is our 3-inch petal, and we're still going to use our Coastal Blue, and we're going to roll all those petals up. So pinch it up with your thumb, let go, and roll. Thank you for joining tonight as we make 2 flowers for our stem. And then our last petal is at 2.75. We're going to switch now to our purple 1/8 inch dowel rod. We're going to roll all those petals up, so pinch it up with your thumb and roll. Pinch up and roll. So now you can see my petal's pretty wide, but I have a large gap on either side. That means it's really gonna roll my petals. Give them a nice curl. We're gonna keep that out here because we're going to glue that in there after we have our flower made. So now you're going to flip your petals over, and we're gonna take layers 1 and 2. Again, they were rolled up with the green. Layer 1, I'm just going to put my finger there so we don't roll the center. Roll right around where the petals meet the base for layer 2. Add some glue. We're going to look at our top 2 petals, look at a petal and bring it straight down in between the petals of layer 1. So these are even because they're the same size. So it fills it in, creates a nice circular shape. Rotate it a little, feel wherever you want to add your next one. I keep shifting it around. Layer 3, we rolled 1 petal up, 1 petal down with our blue 3/16. Roll right where the petals meet the base. Add some glue right in the center. I'm just going to look at these 2 petals, look at a petal, and bring it straight down. Again, this is the exact same size, so it's just filling in, creating that circular shape. Okay. This is layer 5. We used our is it 5? No, 4? This is layer 4. Oh my God. I'm losing it. This is a 3.25 inch. And we use our coastal blue and all the petals were rolled up. So it's a 3/16. Roll right in the center where the petals meet the base. Lifts them up nicely. Add a little bit of glue. And we're just gonna look at any top 2 petals wherever you feel it needs it. Look at your top 2, look at a petal and bring it straight down. I do stand when I assemble. And yes, I stood all day yesterday. My back was hurting this morning. Now, if I'm inking, sometimes I'll sit down, but generally not. Layer 5 is our 3-inch wide, and we use our coastal blue 3/16. Rolled all the petals up. Take your metal ball stylus, roll right where the petals meet the base, and lift up your petals. It's like magic. Okay. I'm going to look at our top 2 petals. I'm just going to choose any petal and bring it straight down, looking at the previous layer. So they always go in between the previous layer. Oh, good, Bally. I'm glad you found it. So she's super cute. Not a hard flower at all. Now we're going to take our last petal of petal 1, which is 2.75 inches. We're going to roll the center where the petals meet the base. And we're going to add glue to our already assembled center. I'm going to glue it right in the center. Or hopefully. Okay, we're going to fold them up. We add glue. So I'm going to look at these 2 side petals and this petal, and I'm going to bring that petal right in between these 2, straight down. Oh my God, a spider just fell. Hold on. Oh my God, hope he don't jump. Did he jump in the camera? Oh my God. There's always somebody who wants to be in my live videos, right, friends? It's not family, it's bugs, spiders. Oh my gosh. She's so pretty. All right, let's prepare our stem. So I'm going to cut my floral stem wire in half. We're going to take our needle nose pliers. Look, my handle's coming off. So these are from Harbor Freight. They're not very expensive. I think maybe $3. Okay, place it in between your needle nose pliers. Bend it around to create your hook. Okay, now you place it back in between your needle nose pliers, squeeze it shut, and I try and straighten it out. And that's when it usually falls off. Okay, now you place it back in there and you're going to bend it 90 degrees like a corner. Now we're going to take our sepals. With them both rolled up on your mat, you're going to roll right around where the petals meet the base. Not a lot. Flip them back over. You're going to choose one. Again, I'm assembling them with them under. I like that look. On the underside of your wire loop, you're going to add hot glue. So add a dab of hot glue. Thread your sepal all the way through and get that to attach. And we're going to hold it there. I hope you're all having a great day. I thank you for stopping by. Again, I am Julie with Photofabpaperflowers, and we are making a stem tonight flower. And then with a bonus, a tiny little other flower. Well, she's not so tiny. Once we know it's secure, we're going to add glue on top of our wire, on the paper, and a little bit out our sepal petals, leaves, petals, whatever we want to call it. So go right over top. And I just go out just a little bit. Ooh, that's burning my glue gun. Flip your flower over. Attach it. We're going to hold it there for a second, and I'm going to press those leaves down so they attach. So I only glued them a little bit out, so we can bend them then. Once we know it's secure, and I put that leaf in between these two. I aimed it for that spot. Okay, so we'll be able to shape her a little bit more once we know she's dry and secure. So with the sepal petals under, thread it on, and now we're going to hold your glue gun and twirl your stem. Okay, thread your sepal petals through and place them in between the previous layers. And we only added it in the center, so they're going to bend down. And we're still not going to shape her too much. I want it to make sure it's dry. Okay, now we're going to add some floral tape. So the first step is pull to activate, rip it off, tear it off. I start further down than at the top, okay? You're going to roll it a few times. Now I need to be able to get it up there to press it, push it all the way up to the top. So I'm going to roll it quite a few times down. Now that I think I have enough, I'm just going to just push it all the way up to the top, friends. And now you can continue rolling. And I'm pulling, but it's already activated the glue, so we're okay. And you can see it went all the way up to the top. And again, I'm not playing around with my flower too much. I'll shape it. I'm going to add some walnut stain again, because I don't want it super duper shiny. We want it to blend. Again, keep using those finger dabbers. Why is my hair on there? Now we are going to continue to add to this, so don't worry. Now we can bend her a little bit. Give her some shape. All right. I can play around with that all night. Now we're going to add our leaves. So I'm going to rip off another piece of tape. We're going to figure out where we want one of them. And how far do you want them bent back further? Completely up to you. So I'm just going to go right there. I'm going to wrap a few times. I may go up a little, and then I come back down. And I have to twirl with my right hand. And just roll that whole entire piece of tape. And in between each layer of doing that, I am adding more of my walnut stain to make sure all of my tape is coordinated colors. So it looks nicely. She's so pretty. All right. She's fun. So what color would you make yours? Now we're going to add another petal or leaf. So rip off a piece of tape. I'm going to go to the opposite side. Don't forget, we still have a flower to make. So I'm going to wrap it a few times. I do go up a little bit. And then twirl and pull at an angle. You can stop here if you want. Maybe you want to put the other one separate. We're going to attach it like it's a little bud, a little smaller blooming flower. Again, in between each, I add more ink. But you definitely could stop there if you wanted to. Ooh, she's got super duper personality. All right, so now, ooh, yes, Jeanette, isn't she pretty? Now we're going to create our second flower, just a little one. I did do most of the styling, or at least the inking, so it shouldn't take long. And I did ink both. And yes, my center did break, and I was having trouble with it because I had a dirty mat, so I didn't feel like getting out a new mat. Especially for a center. I don't like to cut centers on a fresh mat. So we're going to thread one in. I did curl it already with the bone folder. So you're going to thread one end in with the curl facing towards you. We're going to roll it a few times. So if it, rips in half, it's okay. We're going to secure that end, and we're just going to attach the next one. Now at this point, because mine ripped in half, I'm just going to add a little bit of the walnut stain right away. And if it got chewed up, it's okay. I leave it as is. Okay, we're going to go to where our last one ended. We're going to overlap slightly. Again, mine ripped, so this is how you can still use your center. Don't stress out about it. Secure your end with hot glue. So this part is all the same. And then we're just going to add some walnut stain. Now this one's a little bit more open, so I'm going to brush it all the way down. Again, you can add more orange, and depending what color you use is completely up to you. Or maybe you don't want to ink at all. I just press down a little bit. We have our 3 center 3s. And all we did with those is we use our metal ball stylus and roll from the top towards the center. So the inking was exactly the same as our larger flower. So I pre-inked these ahead of time last night. So just roll straight down, nothing fancy, just roll, and it curls it up. Reminds me of like a spider plant. Maybe that's why the spider visited. Okay. And then for our 2 petals, just petal 1 at 2 point. There he is. Oh my gosh. Okay. There he is. He's coming in for the flower, friends. Oh my God. Oh my God. Why me? All the time. This is my life. All right. For our petals, all we're going to do is take our metal ball stylus and a circular motion shape our petals. We're keeping it super duper simple because it's a smaller bud flower. Oh my God, that was funny. I am in and why I always get bugs is it's a garage with a big workshop attached. So that's why I do get when they open up the garage doors. So circular motion. Now they won't be this closed up, but we just want to give them a little bit of shape. We don't need to use our dowel rods. Circular motion starting at the top of the petal towards the base. I smushed him. He's good. He went in the trash can. He can enjoy what's in there. Now with these 2, we're going to pierce a hole right in the center. Oops. Because that's how we're assembling them. Oh, I didn't. Okay, for our sepals, I'm going to use the smaller end and just quickly add our vertical lines like we did with our larger flower. Oh, excuse me. So just draw them right from the, oh, excuse me, top towards the base. So I'm just drawing vertical lines the best that I can. I will ink them. So you can ink them first or add your lines first. It doesn't matter. We just want some texture towards them because we're really not styling them too much. And then we're going to add our crushed olive. So we're going to repeat the process. So I already added some on the other side, so we're just going to brush some on. This is like Kermit the Frog green. I love it. Hope everyone's staying safe, healthy, but having a little bit of fun and being creative, right? Add a little bit of brown. So thanks for joining tonight during your work week or midweek here. We're at Tuesday from after the Memorial Day holiday. So May 27th, 2025. Goodness gracious. Hope you got your vacations planned. I do not. I'm a procrastinator. We're going to add a little bit of seedless preserves again. We keep it consistent. Whatever we did on our larger flower, we do on our mini flower here. Probably considered a micro because it's smaller than 2 inches, I think. Yeah, a little bit. It's right out there. Though I didn't have a lot of carbs today, I did have carbs yesterday. So if my words aren't there, that's why. And now for these. We can roll these again. Pull these up. Well, I probably should have poked the hole first. We need to pierce the hole. Pierce it the way you're going to assemble it. That's how you fix that. All right, so let's glue our center into our 3 centers, our rolled center. Glue on the bottom and a little bit around the sides. Watch your fingers. Choose any one of the 3. Now you can flip it over to see if it's in the center. Watch your fingers and then press them down. Add some glue. And then attach it from the back. So I'm going to look in between one of my previous little petals here and put it right in between. And then press them down and around. Add your dab of glue. And then look between the previous layer petals. Give it a moment to dry and press them up and around. Now again, you can add a little bit of any color ink, even purple we could add. I'm just going to brush a little bit on the tips to match my center. It's very, very subtle, I think. But I do see it when I look at my other flowers. All right, so let's take another piece of floral stem wire. We're going to take our needle nose pliers. I'm going to try and make a small loop. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. Not too bad. Squeeze it shut. Straighten it, place it back in, bend it 90 degrees. With the petals rolled up, choose one of them, it doesn't matter which. On the underside, we're going to add some glue. Oh, my ink pads? I just put in the shoe boxes from Dollar Tree and the clear ones. With the finger dabbers. No, my finger dabbers are literally all off to the side sitting here. For the colors I use the most. Other ones are in a little Ziploc bag, and honestly, I usually just throw them out. So I try and keep them out, and that's why I use the same colors a lot. They're literally just sitting on top of their ink pads to the right of me for everything we used in the last month, probably this month. So now we're going to glue our center. But otherwise, the ink is just in the Dollar Tree shoe boxes, and I added vinyl that says Distress Oxide. I labeled it. We're going to add some glue. Ooh, that's hot. Right in the very center. I do open this up a lot more. So then I thread my second one on. You're going to hold your glue gun and twirl. And we're going to place these petals in between the previous layers. That petal's in between these two. This petal's in between those. And we're going to press up to make sure it's secure. Again, we'll play around with shaping it, and if they move, they moved. Mine moved a little bit. Thread one of your sepals. Now this part, because it's a different size, I do add my glue right around the center here. Be careful not to get it on your the stem. Thread it through, and then we're going to attach. Again, if you want them to be facing up, you can do so. Now we can add it directly to our last sepal we just added. So you just add glue right around the wire. Thread it in between the previous layers. Give it a moment, and then we're going to pull it out. Give her some shape. Okay, now we're going to add our tape. So pull to activate. And again, you're going to start down below. You're going to roll it a few times at an angle. And then you're just going to push it right up to the top. So it literally goes right up to the base. Right up to the very top. Continue rolling. We're going to add some of our brown. She's a crazy little flower here. So you can use, instead of walnut stain, you can use ground espresso. I use them both. They're pretty close. We're going to rip off a piece of tape. Now we're going to attach her to our flower. So figure out where you want to put her, at what height. Wrap it a few times around. I go up just a little bit and then come back down at an angle. Your stem is going to get much thicker now. Oh, she's so cute. Again, now we're going to add some more brown. I keep adding it. Yes, I go over it with more tape. That's okay. At least I know I did it and it'll match. Lastly, we have one more leaf to add. So one more piece of small tape. Do you have the needle nose with the round jaws? Brenda, is there a search feature on YouTube? I have playlists. I'm not sure what you're looking for. Check the playlists. If you purchase a template, the tutorial is linked in the PDF instruction document. Usually on page 1, it says click here. There should be a YouTube. I'm trying to think from my exact page. I'm not really sure of. In our, as I'm adding the videos, I link the YouTube video from these playbacks. When I add them to YouTube, when I post the sizes, always look in the comments because I do link all the videos and all your instructions there. So in the 2025 tutorials page, since they told us they were removing our live videos here on Facebook, on all the new ones I've been uploading again, always check the comments because it links you right to the videos. And now you're going to figure out where you want your last leaf. Once you know your placement, if there's something particular, you can let me know and I can try and find it. But I normally will go to the playlist or I just scroll through. Maybe I want it back here. No, I'll keep it there. Okay, we're going to wrap it a few times. Oh, all the old ones are, all the old live tutorials have not been uploaded yet to YouTube. I'm slowly downloading them. I have until June. All the newer ones are disappearing in 30 days. The old ones I have not uploaded. Though I do have, so all of those links would still work in any of the instructions. Whether it's from the photo albums or in the instruction links, the guides in Photofab Paper Flower Makers group, those will still work yet till June 21st. It's so much work to download and upload them and make sure you have the links, and I do work full time, so I'm struggling right now. And look how beautiful she is. Voila! And there you have some gorgeous little flowers for some spring arrangements. She's so beautiful. So you can bend the top flower depending how you want it to look in your vase. I don't have any around here, but yeah, Brenda, let me know if there's something particular, an older video. On Facebook, you can search. Or if you have the date, I can find it easy. Or sometimes I remember. But oh gosh, how pretty is she for your spring and summer? She would be pretty in a vase. You could put her in the grapevine wreaths with the stem. Almost anything. I'm trying to think. But if you didn't want to stem these, you certainly don't have to. So I showed you the stem version. And they would work with their tulips. Ooh. I have everything here. I'm going to zoom out a little bit. You'll see my crazy workspace. So if you mix, you can mix in some of the tulips. Oops. Even though that's a spring flower, we can still mix them in with some pinks. This was the Elizabeth and Apache. You can mix that in. So again, mix in your colors. The crinkled white peony might be pretty with it. But yeah, have some fun with some arrangements. The fringe tulip would be pretty with it. I like pinks and oranges, so obviously. But in any color, it would be simply gorgeous. So yes, I have a lot of vases. The other way to store your stem flowers is in the Dollar Tree, like I did for my wedding client. I got Dollar Tree waste baskets, plastic baskets, and you just simply add a bag, the sandbag. Keep it all in the bag and just put it in the bottom. And then you can just put them all in there. And then you can just grab them as you need it. But that's tonight's tutorial. Ooh, it's a long one. So thank you for hanging out tonight. We created this gorgeous beauty. So I hope I can inspire you to make some paper flowers this week. We will be back on Friday to close out May 2025. That's crazy, isn't it? This would be cute with some dandelions too. So thanks everyone for joining. Yeah, that would be super cute. Christy, for sure. So Christy says perfect to go into a small wood sign 4x4 with a hole drilled in the top. Absolutely. Or your smaller clay pots. That would be super cute. So I'm here to inspire you, and you can create your own paper flowers. So I wish you a great rest of the week. Reach out with any questions. Just keep in mind I do work 8 to 5-ish, Monday through Friday. And our sale ends tonight at 11:59 or 12 a.m. Eastern on Etsy. For all the mini flowers were 50% off. And then some of them that we used this month are all staying at 50%. Just like I normally do. So thanks everyone for joining. Have a great rest of your night, and we will talk soon. Bye.